Hello, it's Natasha N.K.O, 24th of June still, and it's 23:17. I'm going to finish off Lonely Londoners. I last read the the summer section where Moses is wistfully describing what summer in London is like, using no punctuation whatsoever. So it's just like one big long stream of consciousness about how much he enjoys the view and the experiences. I'll repeat the last paragraph that I read before and then read them. Well, there isn't really there's no paragraph because there's no punctuation, but I'll take what I perceive as a section. They say, Lord Galahad say, when the sweetness of summer getting him, he say he would never leave the old Britain as long as he live. And Moses sigh a long sigh, like a man who lived life and see nothing at all in it, and who frightened as the years go by, wondering what it is all about. It had a fellow called 5 past 12. A test look at him and say, boy, you black like midnight. Then the test take a second look and say, no, you more like 5 past 12. Five come from Barbados. During the war, when Yankee was opening up base in Trinidad, fellas was making a lot of money and the five went to take part. One time he was taking out a Trinidad girl and the boys in the district didn't like it. They tell Fire to leave the girl alone, but Fire ain't paid them no mind. The next night, he was coasting with the girl round Queen's Park Savannah. The boys get a tin of pitch oil and throw on Five and start to run after him with a box of matches. Right after the war, Five come to England to hustle, and the next thing you know, he had on RAF uniform, doing 3 years with them. When the 3 years up, Five get a work driving truck across the country. Five was a fella. From the time he see you, he out to borrow money. You hardly have time to ask him what happening. Then he ask you if you could lend him 10 shillings till Friday, please. Till Friday, please, God. So that all the boys start to take in front. From the time they see Five, they ask him to lend them 2 and 6. That thing's really brown. Ah, Five say, disappointed. You only asking me because you know I was going to ask you. No, Five, I really bawling. Lend me 2 and 6. Five have women all over London, and no sooner he hit the big city than he fly round by Moses to find out what happening, which part have fate, and so on. For Five like a fate too bad. The time when the Lord Mayor did driving through London, it had a steel band beating pan all in the circus, and you should know Five was in the front, jumping up as if it's a West Indian carnival. They should have more fate like this in London, Five tell Moses. They're too slack in this city, the people too quiet. I wonder when the Lord Mayor will take a drive again. If you in town on Saturday, Moses say, Harris given a dance in St. Pancras Hall. But how you mean, Five say, I must go to that boy. Harris is a fellow who like to play la-di-da, and he like English customs and thing. He does be polite and say thank you, and he does get up in the bus and the tube to let women sit down, which is a thing even them Englishmen don't do. And when he dress, you think he's some Englishman going to work in the city, bowler and umbrella and briefcase tucked under the arm, with the Times fold up in the pocket so the name would show, and he walking upright like if it's he alone who alive in the world. Only thing, have his face black. One time, Moses meet Harris by Queensway buying daffodil from a barrow boy. Ah, you going in for horticulture now, Moses tone. The old Harris smile. No, I'm going to have high tea with Lord something's daughter, and I thought it would be a nice gesture to take some flowers along. Man, when Harris starts to spout English for you, you realise that you don't really know the language. Harris moving among the big shots because of the work he does do, which is to organise little fetes here and there, like dance and party and so on. And every time Harris worried if Five would turn up, because Five like to make R-A-B, and have Harris feeling small, though it does only be fun he making, for he not a malicious fella at heart. That fete in St. Pancras Hall, the Saturday night, was big times. Harris had everything under control. He had a steel band to play music, a bar for the boys to drink, and he know already that bags of people coming to the fete from the number of tickets that he sell. So there Harris is, standing up by the door in black suit and bow tie, greeting all English people with a pleasant good evening and how do you do, and a not so pleasant greeting for the boys. For it is one thing, he afraid, is that the boys make rab and turn a dance into a brawl. That never happened in a big way yet, but still he always have a fear, and he always have a word for the boys as they come. See and behave yourselves like proper gentlemen. There are a lot of English people here tonight, so don't make a disgrace of yourselves. Of course, none of the boys paying to go to Harris' dance. They only breezing in and saying, "Good evening, Mr. Harris." Harris can't do anything about that. And in order to avoid contention by the door, he does only shrug his shoulders and allow them to pass. But all the time he keeping an eye open for Five, praying that he would be out of town on business, for Five does make it his business to pick on Harris because he's so la-di-da. But Five never failed to appear, with 4 or 5 white chicks holding on to him. And from the minute he burst through the door, with a long jacket draping across the knees, he bawling out, "Harris, you old reprobate, what happening?" Harris naturally felt bad that in front of all the English people, Five getting on so. He pulled Five to one side while the girls go inside. "Listen, man, Harris plead with Five. I want you to make an effort to behave and comport to yourself properly tonight. I have a distinguished gentleman and his wife here tonight. Try to get on decently just for once." But nothing could rouse Five more than to approach him like this. "But Harris, man, you looking prosperous. Things going good with you. I hear you did make bags of money out of that fete you had in Kilburn last Saturday. You think you will make a lot tonight. I hear you have still band. Oh God, fate like stupidness." "I am warning you, Five," Harris say. "If you behave disgracefully, I shall have to put you out." Five stand back and look at Harris. "You know, you wouldn't do that to your good friend," he say. "Man, sometimes you get on like if we didn't grow up together. Don't mind you born in Jamaica and spent time there before you come to Trinidad. You remember them lime we used to coast by Gilda Club in Charlotte Street in Port of Spain? You remember the night when Mavis make you buy 10 rum for she, and then she went behind the rum shop and tell you to come?" Harris look around desperately. "Don't talk so lightly, man," he tell Five. "It seems you are drunk already. I hope you haven't brought any weed here tonight." "How you mean? I must hit a weed before I get high?" Five say. "Later on, when you finish, come and see me and we will go in the back and have a puff." I won't touch that disgusting drug," Harris say, "and you had better not smoke it here. I am warning you, Five. I really have distinguished people here." "Ah, you does say so every time I come to any of your fete," Five say. "You think you could fool me? You forget I know you from back home. It's only since you hit Britain that you're getting on so English." And with that, Five pushed past Harris and float into the ballroom looking for the cats he bring with him. By the door, poor Harris wiped his face with a white handkerchief. "Moses," he say, when Moses appeared with a Fraulein, "please keep an eye on Five for me tonight. I don't want any trouble." Moses say, "Sure, Harris, let me introduce you to my girl." "Pleased to meet you," Harris say quickly, for plenty people coming in. Behind Moses, Toro appeared with an English chick, and behind him Ma and Tanti, and behind them Lewis with a little thing that he picked up to help him live bachelor life. Toro and behind Moses, Toro appeared with an English chick, and behind him Ma and Tanti, and behind them Lewis with a little thing that he picked up to help him live bachelor life. Toro and his girl going quiet, followed by Lewis and his girl, but Tanti tug Ma and make her stand up. "Harris," Tanti scream out, "you don't know me. You don't remember neighbour who used to live behind you in George Street?" "I'm afraid," Harris start to stammer. "But look how big the boy get," Tanti bawl. "I didn't believe Toro when he tell me. Toro say how you living in London for a long time and that you doing well for yourself. I tell Toro, not little Harris what used to run around the barrack sharding in shirt rail. And Toro say, yes, it's you self. I tell him I don't believe. So he said, come tonight to the dance so you will see for yourself. Well, to tell you the truth, I don't go anywhere at all. You could ask Ma here, but when I hear that is you who given this fate, I say I must come and see you. Ma, look at little Harris, how big he get. But the years pass quickly. Yes, yes, I remember you, Harris said quickly, giving Tanti a push. But Tanti didn't budge. Don't push, she say. Have some respect for your elders. I'm not going to dance until you come inside. I want the first set with you. It still have some life in the old hen. But bless my eyesight. She begin again as if she just come in. Look at little Harris what used to feed foul egg under the house. And she went inside with Ma shaking her head from side to side. Inside the hall was a real jam session. The girls stand up in the groups here and there, and the boys liming out by the bar, some of them with their girls, like Marble Arch in the summer. Any of Harris' fate is a get-together of all the boys, wherever it happened to be. Big City, Galahad, Daniel, Cap, Bart, all of them leave the night work they have to hit this fate, and Moses, as usual, like a minor master of ceremonies with the boys, giving them all the latest lowdown and ballad as they coast a drink. All you see that, Moses say. Look, Toro bring the whole family to Harry's fate. Oh God, what's it coming to now? It looked like Saltfish Hall in London. Saltfish Hall was the name of a place in one of the small islands where it have a sign, wash your foot and jump in, and it have 2 buckets of water near the door, and all of them old geezers coming from the fields and wash their foot and join the fete in the hall. Toro have a sharp thing in him. No, Toro have a sharp thing with him, the old gunner had observed. You do see him dancing with the old lady, Big City say. Oh Lord, what it is happening in this London. This fate like a real bacchanal in the prince's building in sport of pain. In sport of Spain. No. This fate like a real bacchanal in the prince's building in port of Spain. Who having a drink on me? Toro, Moses shout, and when Toro come, all the boys begin to give him tone. What happened? You couldn't leave the old lady home. You think this is Jamaica? You bring an old hen to dance? Who is that woman with you, Toro? Give me an intro, man. Bring she over here to have a drink. All this time, the steel band blasting some hot numbers, and the old five, whenever he see Harris watching him, starting to jock waist for soul, and fanning with his jacket, and jumping up like if it's a real carnival slackness, only to make Harris get vexed. Harris moving about the crowd saying hello to everybody and hoping they are having a good time. It really looked like he have some la-di-da there, for it had 3 or 4 of them sitting at a table in the corner drinking, but none of them dancing, though it's 2 men and 2 women. Harris, who is them people who's sitting down there and not dancing? Moses asked. Those are my personal guests, Harris say. Moses, are you keeping an eye on Five for me? I am sure he has some weed on him. Look, you can see from his behaviour that he's not normal. Do you think I should have him put out? Take it easy, Moses say. The old five out of this world, but he ain't misbehaving yet. I must go over to my guests, Harris say. Have one before you go, Moses say. But Harris was in the crowd by this time, making his way to the table in the corner. How are you getting on? Harris asked one of the young women at the table, like an attendant when you're trying on a new pair of shoes. Fine, she say, looking up at Harris. This steel band music just fascinates me. How do they manage to get such melody from the oil drums? Oh, they practice a lot, Harris say. Is this the first time you've heard them? No, I heard a band on the BBC the other evening. I don't know if it was this one. Harris feel it was up to him to ask the thing to dance, seeing like they looked shy to take the floor. So he asked the girl and she hem a little, then she get up. Now all this time Tanti was looking for Harris, and when he take the floor with this sharp thing, she spot him dancing. Tanti get up and push away dancers as she advanced to Harris. My boy, she said, putting she hand on his shoulder. I've been looking for you all over. What happening? You avoiding the old lady, eh? Too much young girl here to bother with Tanti, eh? Harris gets so vexed, but he know that if he talk rough to Tanti, she might get on ignorant. Lucky for him, he was dancing near the outside of the crowd, so he stop and draw aside. Listen, he say to Tanti, can't you see I am dancing with this young lady? What happened for that, Tanti say, eyeing the white girl who looks so embarrassed. You think I can't dance too? I had a set already with Toro. Ask him. Well, Harris say, trying hard to keep his temper, will you kindly wait until I am finished? We shall dance the next set. You too smart. When the next set come, I wouldn't find you, Tanti say, holding a firm hold of Harris. Tell this girl to unlace you. You know what they playing? Fan me, saga boy, fan me. I've inspired that to make sure that, anyway, Fan, Fan, me, yeah, me. Saga, Saga, boy, boy. Fan me, Saga, boy, fan me. Tell this girl to unlace you. You know what they playing? Fan me, Saga, boy, fan me. And that is my favourite calypso. These English girls don't know how to dance calypso, man. Lady, excuse him. And before Harris know what happening, Tanti swing him on the floor, pushing up she fat self against him. The poor fella can't do anything. In two twos, Tanti had him in the centre of the floor while she swinging she fat bottom left and right. While the other fellas calling out to one another to watch how Tanti dancing with Harris. Five was real high, out of his world. A kind of frozen smile on his face, and a look in his eyes as if he's seeing things men does only see in their dreams. But he was quick enough on the draw to see the white girl stand up there helplessly while trying to take Harris away. Moses, Five say, look, one of Harris' distinguished guests stand up there by her. Moses, Five say, look, one of Harris' distinguished guests stand up there by sheself. Go and dance with she, Galahad, Moses say, urging him on, but Galahad hanging back. I bet you I dance with she, Five say. I bet you don't, Moses say. Five went up to the girl before she had time to make her way back to the table. Nobody don't know to this day what Five told the girl, if he just picked she up and start to dance, or if he said, may I have this dance, or if he say, shall we? Afterwards, he told the boys he only went up and winked at she, and she was in his arms before he know what was happening. But whichever way it was, Five was close hauling this number like if she played... wait. But whichever way it was, Five was close hauling, that's such a brilliant word, CLOSEHAULING, close hauling. But whichever way it was, Five was close hauling this number like if the band playing a slow, sentimental fox instead of fan me saga boy fan me. Half the boys saying, look how Tanti have Harris, and the other half saying, look at the old Five beating close to the wind with Harris girl. Somehow or other, Harris managed to get loose from Tanti and rushed to where Moses and Galahad standing. Moses is say, I will really have to put 12 out of the hall. He has been smoking weed and he is not responsible for his actions. Take it easy, Moses say. The old Five enjoying himself. You can't see the girl dancing with him. If she didn't want to dance, she didn't have to. Well, I don't like it, Harris say. The next time I have a fete, attendance will be by invitation only. You boys always make a disgrace of yourselves and make me ashamed of myself. And Harris went off like a steam engine. What is the trouble here, Big City say, coming from the gents where he was hitting an end of weed that Five passed on to him. You miss him big times, Galahad say. The quarrel between them was long forgotten. Harris was dancing with Tanti and now he vexed that Five dancing with one of his girls. Look at the old Five, man, Moses say, admiring the dancers. Big City, Galahad say, suddenly remembering the time in Hyde Park when Big City did jockey him to stand up on the platform and address the crowd. I bet you're not as brave as Five. I bet you don't go and ask the other girl to dance. That one over there by the table sitting down with them two fellas. Big City say, who want to dance with them? Something up people. Harris always bringing some of them la-di-da here. I bet you don't, Galahad say. You talking to Big City boy? Big City say. 10 like you don't, Galahad say. I'm mad to go over there and ask you to dance, City mutter. Harris will throw you out if you interfere with his distinguished guests, Galahad say. You don't know, Big City boy, Moses joined the jockeying. You really don't know, Big City, else you wouldn't talk so. By this time, Big City was flying across to the table. Again, nobody ever get to find out what Big City say or what he do. Some of the boys say it was because the other girl was dancing with Five, and that gives she courage. But however it was, the girl get up and start to dance with Big City. Galahad, Moses say, standing up on the corner and watching the proceedings. The things that happen in here tonight never happened before. I have a feeling you will see a lot before this fate over. Watch yourself, and if you see fight, run like hell. Because if things open up hot, I out and out. No, because if things opening up hot, I outing off fast. At this stage, the fete in full swing, nearly everybody dancing. Only the old Moses stand up in the corner with Galahad, telling him ballads about the fates that gone before and lowdown about some of the boys. I don't see Cap dancing, Galahad observe. Cap take up two girl and he gone home long time, Moses say. He don't stick around much if he could pick up something. Bart looked like if he drunk. Poor fella, he must be still studying that girl what let him down. He thought he might have found her here. When he first come in, you didn't see how he went through the hall like a detective looking at everybody? But we'll never find that girl again. But he won't take my advice. I see Daniel buying a lot of drinks for them girls, Galahad say. That is his line, man. He like to do things like that. You will notice that the boys bring in a lot of girls, but don't buy anything for them. They just leave it to the old Daniel, and if you're lucky, when the fete finish, you get to go home with one of them. Well, things warm up fast in St Pancras Hall that Saturday night. Around 10:30, a Jamaican fella bust a Coca-Cola bottle over 5 head because 5 was dancing too close with his girl. Big City finished dancing and he beating pan in the steel band and every now and then jumping up when the weed hit the sky and screaming out for everybody to dance or come and heat pan in the band. Bart drunk as hell and he's sitting in a corner holding his head and staring into space. Tanty pulling Toy away from his women, saying that she's tired and want to go home. Lewis like if he is the happiest man in the hall how he get this divorce from Agnes and he going to everybody and telling them how he used to thump she every night. It look as if Moses know everybody in the hall, for it ain't have a fellow who passed what didn't ask him what happening. How you know so much people, boy? Galahad asked. I didn't come to London yesterday, Moses say. I was among the first set of spades what come to Britain. And then it ain't have so many places the boys could go to, so you're bound to meet them up sooner or later. Long time was the old Paramount in Tottenham Court Road. I mean, them was days. It don't have nothing like that again. Better fate than this? Galahad asked. Better fate than this, Moses say. Boy, this ain't nothing. The boys used to overflow into the road when they had a lime there on a Saturday. One time a Jamaican fella take off all his clothes to fight an Irishman opposite a pub there and talk about weed. Everybody used to be as high as the sky. You ever hit a weed, Moses? Sure I hit a weed. I do everything for experience. How you feel when you smoke it? At first you feel bad, but afterwards like nothing matter in the world. You will die laughing at anything, and you feel as if you're walking on air. But I don't bother with that again. One year I was working in the post office. Every year around Christmas time, they does take on fellas to help with the work. And they had a Jamaican who used to hit the weed regularly at work. I used to pass by him and say, "Ah, Papa, like you high." And he used to look at me and smile. You know where to get? I would like to try one. It have plenty of trouble in that. But the way how you ask me remind me about them English fellas is a funny thing, but sometimes you're walking down the road and all of them who you pass ask you the same thing. They like the weed more than anybody else. And from the time they see you black, they figure that you know all about it, where to make contact and how much to pay. But I'm not in that racket. In fact, I don't know any of the boys who in it. Though now and then you would see them high. If you want to have a go, you better ask 5 when you come down to earth. Big City and 5 come up to them during a break, and all of them went to the bar to have a drink. This man Harris only fast, 5 say. Distinguished guests, how you don't know I fix up a little thing with the skin? Who you think takes you home when the fate over? But what about all them girls you bring with you, Galahad asked. 5 waved his hand in the air. One today, one tomorrow. He said, listen, any of them you like you could have. Daniel, he called out to the other end of the bar. You treating the girls right? Daniel stick his thumb up in the air like them RAF fellas and smile. That man is a real friend, 5 say. How you make out with the other one, City? As you say, Big City answer. Harris only fast, but she don't want to leave the other girl, so we will have to go together. That is all right, boy, 5 say. Anything goes. Jesus Christ, it making hot in here, though. What happened, Moses? I ain't see you dancing. I had one or two, Moses say, but you know the old man, always taking things easy. How your head, Five? Galahad asked. It all right, man. It only break a Coca-Cola bottle, you know? I would have beaten that if you all didn't hold me back, but we make back friends after. Harris come to the bar as if nothing happened and order a lemonade. What time is fate over in, Harris? Five asked him. At the usual time, 11:30, Harris say. Oh Christ, Five say. I don't know why in a big city like London you can't have a fete till morning. Look how it is back home. They have non-stop dance. You dance till you fall down on the ground. The moon go, the sun come, evening come, night come again, and still the boys on the floor. Why the arse London Transport can't run bus and tube all night for people to go home? I wish you would watch your language, Harris say. You don't know it, but there are decent people around you. Yes, big cities say. Stop something up a good time, Five. Take it easy, boys, Moses say. Another thing, Harris say, drinking the lemonade and forgetting to speak proper English for a minute, is when the fete finish and the band playing God Save the Queen, some of you have a habit of walking about as if the fete's still going on. And you, Five, the last time you come to one of my dances, you was even jocking waist when everybody else was standing at attention. Now we have decent people here tonight, and if you don't get on respectable, it would be a bad reflection, not only on me, but on all the boys. And you know how things are hard already in Britain. The English people will say we are still uncivilized and don't know how to behave properly. So please, boys, do me a favour. And when the band played God Save the Queen, stand up to attention. All right, Mr. Harris, Five, say anything you want. If you want me to leave right now, I will leave. Then he changed his tone. Come and have a drink with the boys, man. You haven't had one for the night. You know I don't drink, Harris say. Ah, that is now. But you remember them days in Port of Spain when... But Harris went away before Five could finish stirring up the memories, to tell the other boys to remember to stand still when the band playing God Save the Queen. I'll pause there, actually, before I finish it. So thanks for listening.